Behind us is the AUTOID Audi R8, and today we're going to be doing the first modifications, which is going to be giving it some lows with the MSS hybrid adjustable spring kit. Let's do it. So whilst we're installing the kit, we're also going to be adding some spacers just to increase the stance, make it a little bit wider. And then here is the main thing that's going to be going on today. This is the hybrid spring kit. This is actually a prototype that's been brought down by the guys at MSS. They're here today. They're going to be helping us install that kit, because this originally was designed for the Huracan. If all things good, this will be available on the market really soon, and you'll be able to purchase it on our store.
So this is going to be the first mod on my Audi R8, and I'm super excited because I hate the ride height at the moment. I think it looks awful. It's very high up in the air and the wheels don't poke at all. I'll throw some cinematics up now and you can see what they currently look like. For a supercar, I'm not very happy with it, to be honest. What do you think about it, Jack?
Yeah, I didn't realise how bad it was until I've actually taken a look at it, and you can really see it. It looks like, I don't know, it looks like it's the off-road version, the Storato version of the R8 now. This is the spring. Now you've actually got three key components to that. You've got the top spring, which is essentially like your comfort everyday spring. You've then got the black spring that sits at the bottom. Now this is essentially like your sport spring, which is essentially engaged when the orange spring comes under compression. Then at the bottom is where the adjustability comes into it, and this is a coil here that you can essentially wind up and wind down, and that's what's going to give us the adjustability in terms of height. One other thing I didn't mention was that if your car has some sort of adaptive suspension, for example the Audis run MagRide, this particular car doesn't, but the good thing is if it did, this would still be fully compatible, so you don't have to fit coilovers or whatever it is, you know, block out all of the fault codes that come with installing coilovers. This will work as intended with the factory dampers, so just make sure that if you're looking at any options, that is one key thing that you have with the MSS hybrid system.
So the R8 rear-wheel drive weighs 1,620 kg, which is actually only 30 kg heavier than a Lamborghini Huracan Performante. So the stance on the Audi R8 has now been fixed and the fitment is perfect. So on the front we've had around a 30 to 35mm drop with a lovely 12mm spacer, just bringing that arch out to the perfect amount, giving it the ultimate look. And the nice thing about this height at the moment is it's not too low to the point where you're scraping over speed bumps or anything, but bear in mind it's considerably lower than what it was before, so you do need to be a little bit more careful, especially with slopes and stuff like that. And then on the back here we've had another 35mm drop, which is absolutely perfect. It's not, we can't get a fist in the arch no more, which is perfect. It's a supercar, it needs to be low. So now let's go for a quick drive and I will give you my thoughts on what I feel like the suspension feels like over the stock suspension. We are now in the car, got some GoPros set up. Let's go for a quick little drive and see what this MSS hybrid suspension drives like on the road. Obviously my car was bone stock before, and this car, as I mentioned earlier in the video, doesn't have the adaptive dampers. So what you get is what you get with this kit basically. We've got a nice little speed bump coming up here. Goes over the speed bumps fine at this height, which is very good. First faults, driving the car normally. On a normal back road, normal speeds. And one thing which genuinely shocks me is how comfy this is. This is actually comfier than the stock suspension before. And I take it the reason behind that is because they've gone for that dual spring setup, because this genuinely feels lovely, but you've still got that sports feeling where you can feel everything in the road. It's still bumpier than a normal car, but it is very, very comfy. I can't get over how smooth this suspension is now. It just feels like it's gliding along the road. And it doesn't make sense to me either, because usually when you lower a car, it gets really bumpy, but this is not the case with this kit. I think let's go out now, get on a nice little B road, and give it a little bit of a kick, because realistically, if you've got an R8, you're going to boot it, ain't you? I forgot how much I love this car. I haven't driven it for a little while. It's fucking mental. Well, just then, gripped up extremely well considering its damp conditions. You can definitely feel the car's still got that stiffness there. It's almost like it's a really comfortable car, and then it goes past that certain level of the amount of, I'm not a suspension expert, I'm just telling you in my opinion, but it feels like it's very comfy, and then you get it past that level of where you're starting to lean on the suspension, and that's when you can feel it stiffening up. One thing to note, the suspension has been fitted and I haven't had a wheel alignment done. So the chances are, whenever you mess with suspension, you're going to knock the wheel alignment out. But MSS recommend to do a couple hundred miles in the car first, let the springs settle, and then run it for a wheel alignment, because the last thing you want to do is get it aligned straight away. Springs have settled into place and they knock your alignment back out. You want to get it absolutely perfect. So allow a little bit of time for that. Very sharp. Little bit of slip. I love this car. This feels insane. It feels amazing. A night and day difference over the stock suspension, and I am genuinely so happy with this. Like, so happy. It's probably the nicest feeling suspension I think I've ever felt in any car, because you've got the comfort there, you put it under load, and it just gets stiffer. I can't explain it. You can just lean on it, and you've got all the feel in the steering, more feel than what it did from factory. If you was thinking about lowering your car, this is 10 out of 10. And I'm sure anyone that puts this on some stock suspension on their R8 would be impressed. If you guys like the look of the MSS suspension, please get in touch with us and a member of our team will help you out. So make sure you check that out. We also have an in-house installation facility in Essex. If you live near there, you can come and have it supplied and fitted along with the spacers as well. That's going to round off today's video, guys. If you've enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe to follow the journey with this car, because we have got a lot more coming with this, and I genuinely can't wait. Next week, that V10 behind is going to sound a lot better because we're going to be fitting exhaust to it. And I am so excited. We're going to be getting rid of them nasty OPFs and creating a little bit more noise and a little bit more drama to this car. So make sure you stay tuned, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.